The siding patterns, in case you try this deck, going first, you try to not change much at all in most matchups. Like you can swap, like going first very often if I sided only something like 2 nibs or drolls, like if they were good in the matchup, right? Like usually you don't change much about the deck when you go first. You just like sometimes side extra hand traps that are good to back up your board. Like if you play going first and you make like a Baron, like Fountain Baron with some Runicks in hand, drawing into a Nibiru is completely disgusting. That's why you side in some amount of, like I sided out like 1 regained, and very often I would side out 1 Serenir in the matchup. Like if you go against like a matchup where Bystials aren't crazy, you don't want to side out all of them, but you side out 1 Serenir quite a bit. So in those kind of cases, it would be like I would take in 2 to 3 nibs for like a Serenir, a regain, and something else, right? But I didn't want to take out any consistency cards. And then going second, if Bystials are not good in the matchup, I would pretty much always take out like I would always take out this, right? For like this is 6 cards, right? It would almost always be these 6 that I would take out. Going second into matchup, like Rescue Ace, for example. This is also why in the finals I had to special summon my Lubellion from hand. I couldn't use it because I sided out all of these. I sided out all of these, and then I grabbed Lubellion because I drew. I think, what was it? Did I draw all 3 Bystials? I definitely drew. Druis and Magna. Where was Serenade? Did I draw all 3? I think I drew all. I think I drew all 3. Yeah, I think I drew all 3. I don't remember exactly. I milled Magna. Oh, I sent Magna for Druis, right? So that I could bring it back with regain. I forgot, man. I sent Magna. Yeah, that was definitely a mistake then. You opened like 2 Lubellion? Nah, I opened 1. I sided out 2 for sure. Against you, I opened... Against you, I drew all 3. But, yeah. Anyways, that's why I like... My original plan was to send Magna with Serenir to bring it back with Regained, but then I didn't have a target for Lubellion left. It was kind of messed up, but like, yeah. But this is what I would usually do. And then for... It depended on the matchup, right? It would pretty much... against... Like, for example, against Unchained... It would be this, right? Against other, sometimes it would be this. Sometimes it would even be this. Like if I had to side 9, like against Infernoble, for example, you would take out some amount. You have to take out some amount of Runicks, and just hope that because you go second and you have an extra card, right? You draw like what's it called? I would probably take out the Serenir as well then, like something like this, right? Against Infernoble going second, right? You would just have to side out some Runicks with the logic that you like with Phantasma in your deck and going second you get an extra card. You can afford to side out some Runicks because you're gonna draw more, like you're more likely to see enough Runicks anyways. Like going first you always want to have the 17, but going second with Phantasma in your deck and drawing 6 cards, I think it's alright going lower, right? And so this is what you would do against something like Infernoble, which doesn't make the deck that bad post-side. Like that's something I noticed. Like post-side against the combo decks, I wasn't even that... It wasn't that bad. Like I've beaten some of the combo decks post-side with these 12 cards in my deck. Like it wasn't that bad. It was alright. But yeah, Phantasma was insane for me, by the way. I have not lost a single time I opened Phantasma going second. Phantasma went crazy. I'm so glad I was able to play that card again. I missed that card. That is probably my favorite card from 2019. Or like one of my favorite cards of all time anyways. Like I was so happy to be able to play Phantasma. Yeah, and then Denko Sekka was funny because it never did anything, but the idea was kind of cool, I suppose. It's very copium, but the idea was basically I was sitting there and I was looking at my deck and I was like, okay, game one, against Rescue Ace, if I go second, I probably lose. And that was usually true. I beat one Rescue Ace going second in Swiss without drawing Ash, going second game 1, because the only reason I won was because they played around, they played around Imperm by going for the Mud Dragon combo, right? They made Proxy Magician Mud Dragon and then went for Turbulence, and that made their end board so much worse that I was able to break it, right? That's why I won against it in Swiss. Their play wasn't necessarily wrong. It's just it's only wrong if you know that this is my deck, right? It's only wrong if you know that I wasn't playing any of the cards he played around. But yeah. So I was sitting there before the event and I was like, I don't think this deck can consistently beat Rescue Ace going second, which was concerning for me. You know, that was very concerning. I was like, that's probably not very good if you go into this YCS where Rescue Ace is to be expected one of the most played decks, and going second, you almost just fold to it. So I was looking around and I was like, how do I solve Rescue Ace with just one card? I have room for one more card in my side deck. What do I do? And then someone says, I don't remember who it was. Someone says play Denko Sekka. All right, someone says play Denko Sekka, and I'm like, hold on, does that work? And it's like, it doesn't work against all of the boards that they make. Like if they have everything, like if they have Preventer, then it obviously doesn't do anything. If they have Veiler, it doesn't do anything either. If they have Preventer, you need like Freezing Curses, then it can do something. If they have, the same is true if they have, if they go for the Terahertz, if they go for IP Masquerena. So it doesn't solve every end board, but some of their end boards it does help against, especially if you had Phantasme. Then it does work against a lot of them, right? Like if you have Phantasme, you can stop like Effect Veiler and all that kind of stuff. You can stop all those, right? You can, like, if you have Phantasme Denko, like that shit actually can work. But the basic idea is just if they go like set 4 and make like an SP, which is like a board that a lot of them would make to play around Nibiru, like one of the more standard lines I feel like post side for Rescue Ace was just make SP, summon Turbulence, use Turbulence effect, because that's technically, it's good against Imperm, it's good against Nib, all that kind of stuff, right? And so if they do that, then you can just normal summon Denko. It's bigger than SP by 100, and then you just beat it that way. And it's just a funny coincidence that it also completely destroys Labyrinth. But just to be clear, you wouldn't need this for Labyrinth. Like this is not here for Labyrinth because you beat Labyrinth anyways with this deck. But just in case, the only time I think I've summoned it twice in the entire tournament. One time I still lost because I think they had Veiler. The other time was against Yugioh on stream, where I drew it one turn too late, I believe, because turn 1 it would have completely destroyed him in game 3, because he ended like late, lovely 3 sets pass, didn't flip anything in my draw phase. If I had Denko, I would have completely cooked him, but I didn't have it. I drew it later, and so I just made the only thing it did was I summoned it, everyone clapped, and then I made Chaos Angel with it. with a Bystial, which I guess was still good, but yeah, that's all it did. So if you side in Denko with this deck, what I would do is I would side out some of the, like I would side out Bystial, Aluber, and a Quem, and some, among the other stuff that you would side out, because you just want less normal summons, right? You want less normal summons if you side in Denko, to make sure it doesn't conflict, right? Yeah. And then this thing, which actually wasn't as important as I thought it may have been. Like it happened, I think round 1 and round 2, and then it never happened again. So it probably would have been better to play like an actual side deck card. I don't know what it would have been though, but I basically played the entire event with 12 side deck cards because this just happened, like didn't come up anymore. I don't know what you would do instead.